My blood, my love, my life. If you were in these arms tonight, I hold you, I need you. I get down on my knees for you.
You're listening to WeP3 Radio on the Foxhole Radio Network. Currently playing David Chamberlain, In These Arms.
I please you. I tell you that I'd never leave you. Love you until the end of time. If you were in these arms tonight.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker. Talkers. Roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Hello and good evening. This is Andrea Eichmann here with the People's Patriot Project, and I am here to welcome you to our weekly We Got Your 6 at 6 show. That is Central Time, of course, brought to you by the People's Patriot Project. And every week we bring you a guest, many times a new artist, and then we share all the good and sometimes not so good things happening in our world. This week, we have the presence of Melvin Gatewood with Operation Service Continues and a whole lot more to tell us about. And then we have music artist John Hensley, who will be sharing his talents with us tonight. I see Derek out there. Thank you, Derek. It is good to see you. Tonight's episode sponsored by Bottle Breacher. Gosh dang, you got to get one. Catch 22 with Derek Iozio. Operation Texas Strong with Bobby and Peggy Krutzinger. Poem Speak with Stephen Bates. Contagion Effect. And then our very own Kimmer Gwinner, poet extraordinaire. And at some point, Brian Kenzer will be with us tonight. And he supports WeP3 with his business Healthy Living, which is about shopping for American-made products and a stream to help support the People's Patriot Project while you are shopping. Thank you to all our sponsors, guests, and viewers. Let me just remind you that we know why we get to do this. Thank you to the service members and first responders that have committed their time, sweat, blood, limbs, family, and life to give us the freedoms that we have that allow us to do what we do daily. Thank you very much. Before we do get our show started tonight, I ask that you take off your hats, stand if you can, cover your hearts, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all. Oh, here we go. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Right? That's what we're doing today. That's the day. Let's get all these guys organized and where they belong. Oh, that works. I don't know if people celebrate it. I know that we have a lot of fans out there that really like to consume the taco. Who can tell us? Does Cinco de Mayo have any relevance in your life whatsoever, Mr. Hensley?
Normally we have my neighbor across the street does a big birthday party because his birthday is actually Cinco de Mayo, and so typically we have a big block party, so it's always a pretty good time.
Mr. Gatewood, do you have any significance with Cinco de Mayo?
Not really. Just use this as a time to celebrate with those that do celebrate it.
I love it. Miss Kimmer, are you celebrating Cinco de Mayo in any way?
I just finished my last taco right before we aired. Thank you very much.
All right. What kind of taco was it?
It was just something that Renee put together, and I cannot complain about it.
There you go. Fair enough. Jeremy Daniels, good to see you, brother. Derek Iozio out of Texas, El Paso. Catch 22 peer support. And Mr. Bird with Heroes Media Group. Thank you for being here, brother. We got a bunch coming in. Miss Liz, good to see you. I don't want to try to destroy your last name, so I'll stay away from that because I'll destroy Dylan's last name, Petrie, which I don't destroy that very well. And let's see, our Taco King is Jeremy Daniels. Is this your birthday today? Is it Jeremy Daniels' birthday today? Cinco de Mayo?
That'd be pretty cool if it was.
I'm looking it up as we speak.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
That it is.
I'm going to
Happy
say
birthday.
Nympheus. I hope that's close. If not, you asked for it. Mr. Hensley was talking about he made some grub for his crew. Not necessarily Cinco de Mayo, but what'd you have for dinner today, buddy?
Yeah, man, I had the wild hair do a little grilling tonight, so we did. I made some kebabs with some grilled chicken and some smoked sausage and some onions, sweet peppers, a little bit of corn. It's kind of our Sunday thing. I try to grill out every week to save my wife a couple of days worth of cooking, early in the week.
So we have the unique opportunity. This doesn't happen like this in the whole South and East is covered here. We've got Georgia with Mr. Hensley. We got Tennessee with Mr. Gatewood. We've got Miss Kimmer, who's down there in Kentucky. We got Jonathan, that's down there in Louisiana. And me and Eichmann, we're stuck up here in Minnesota, which, it is what it is. We'll it's fine. We love Minnesota, and we love bringing all the great things. Liz from Wisconsin's chiming in. Petrie, he's that's another Louisiana. I know Jerry Gilmore stepping in the house, calling us the Yankees. You know what? If it wasn't for the New York Yankees, I wouldn't be so offended by that. But I cannot, and will not tolerate that because the Twins are going to go far this year, right? No one's going to agree with me on that one. I have a funny story. I don't know that I can share the whole story, but visiting at the Atlanta Stadium down in Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful stadium.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there. This is a story. Me and Miss Eichmann also work with another organization that brings up and teaches kids. Well, she works at Hastings. I work at St. Francis. And we went down for an event down in and I get and I understand there's a little politicity involved in this, but the union's not a super huge fan of Chick-fil-A. It is what it is. I'm not airing anything that we don't know. Also culturally, and this isn't a bad idea, but it's one of those things. We had several Native Americans in our contingency that are not a big fan of the Atlanta Braves and the name for the Atlanta Braves. I totally get it. I understand it, this and that. To add injury to insult, if you do anything major and significant at the Atlanta ball field, there is a gigantic, probably 6 to 10 story tall cow in the outfield that blows smoke from his nose, his eyes turn up red, and he does the biggest tomahawk chop on the face of the earth. So when Minnesota did their teacher night out down there at Atlanta ball field, it didn't necessarily seek everyone's pleasure at that moment. I get it. I totally get their point of view. Not my issues, not my concerns, but stuff that should be sometimes taken into consideration and say, you know what can we do to make the world a better place? So it is what it is. We got 2 amazing guests here tonight. We've got our amazing regulars here tonight, and we got an amazing crew of people out there chiming in, sharing their stories, sharing their ideas, sharing their thoughts. Let's get a little bit more acquainted with our guests tonight. Mr. Gatewood, tell us who you are, tell us about your service, and tell us about the mission you're on.
Well, once again, just thank you for having me tonight. My name is Melvin Gatewood. Sergeant Melvin Gatewood, retired, served in the Mississippi Army National Guard for 3 years. April 19, 2005, while on the deployment to Iraq, I was injured in a Humvee explosion. I often wondered why did I make it and some of my friends did not make it home, but I knew God had a plan for me. After dealing with and recovering from my injuries, both physical and the one that you could not see. I went to work for the Department of Veteran Affairs, but before working with the Department of Veteran Affairs, I worked with troubled youth and went over to the VA in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, talking with the vocational rehab counselor, and he kind of convinced me to get a job with the VA, apply for a job at the VA. My first job with the VA was a very humbling job as far as working in housekeeping. And so from that point of view, coming in as a housekeeper, and then I needed that moment of, I think, humbling, because I was like, well, hold on, I'm a decorated veteran and you just trying to just have me sweep and mop the floors. But I needed that while working as a housekeeper. I got a chance to meet a lot of people around the hospital, and eventually incident happened up on the acute psych unit when I was cleaning up one day, and I had to therapeutically confine a veteran, and they asked me, did I want to work as a nursing assistant? So
Oh no.
All right, we'll give him to come back. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Well, so something's happened, life, and we'll get him back. But Mr. Hensley, oh, here he. Oh no, that's Brian. Not any less, any worse. Just part of the team.
There he is.
There we
There
go,
he
brother.
is.
okay, sorry about that. I don't know. But started working for the Department of Veteran Affairs in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, then went over to Jackson, Mississippi, and then finally came to Middle Tennessee area. Just wanted to still serve and still be in the fight. And I got that opportunity with the Department of Veteran Affairs. With the Department of Veteran Affairs being such a large entity, they can't do everything. And I saw a need within rural areas and metropolitan areas where veterans needed to receive resources and have social gatherings. So that started Operation Continued Service in, I want to say 2021. We did our first Ruck March in 2019 to remember a fallen veteran out of Macon, Mississippi, Sergeant Travis Cooper. So after that event, that kind of just sparked other things that we wanted to do in the community, but primarily bringing social gatherings to communities, getting veterans involved with veteran coffee socials or veteran barbecue brunches, or just getting out with the rucks and doing physical fitness activities.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's one of the key components that we've stumbled on and realizing that our brothers and sisters just want to be, first of all, they need to have something to do.
Yes.
Second of all, they get stuck in this rut where I may or may not have one stuck in my house here who just got done with his first, not deployment, but his first enlistment, and he just stuck. He plays his video games, he does, but he's stuck. And it's just like, get out of the rut, go do something, go get involved, go be. And you would think it would be easy considering all the stuff that I do, but he doesn't want any part to do with that right now. They got to get our brothers and sisters moving. You got to move. You got to do something. Whether it's just even going out and going for a walk. But I love the fact that you're kind of honing the pieces to fit the ruck march. All of us, I don't enjoy ruck marches anymore. That's me. I'm on the low end of the 50s, and I've done plenty of my boot, scoot, and boogie days, and I'm not interested in doing 10-mile walks.
I'm glad that you said that, because we do have individuals that come out and they say, well, I don't want anyone to see me, and they take away my service-connected disability and things of that nature. And you have all of these other organizations that kind of base theirs on how much weight that you can carry. But when we do our ruck march, the recovery ruck is more so symbolic. We say that we're carrying the weight of depression, anxiety, PTSD, MST, all of the issues that I hear from veterans on a daily basis. So when we're walking, we're talking with the veteran, and they might be saying, well, Melvin, I'm experiencing issues, financial issues, needing ways to get back out into the community. So I have on my vest, I can just pull these issues out. So as we walk, we talk, and then afterwards, I can go inside my bag and I can give them resources from the Department of Veteran Affairs, Wounded Warrior Project, Simplify America Fund, or if it's a local agency or state agency within those 3 states that we operate, I can say, here, I don't want you just to leave and just say, well, the ruck was good. And don't get me wrong, some people might say, hey, that's all I needed, to be around other comrades and just walking and chatting. And because when we think about isolation and loneliness, those are the major components when we talk about suicidal ideation among our veteran population.
I love it. One of the first ruck marches that me and Miss Eichmann got to go on, we did it up here in Minnesota, and they actually do it across the country. There's the nearly naked ruck march, and we've been on that one. And it was this particular ruck march, 10 miles, and for some reasons it was uphill the entire time. I don't know what.
We do wear clothes, right?
What's that?
We do wear clothes. I heard naked.
Yeah, some barely.
Nearly naked. You know, it's kind of funny because people wear those combat bikinis out there. That's what they do, and they it is what it is. Yeah, the Silkies. It's up in Duluth. You're walking on this amazing plateau that looks over Lake Superior, but there may have been a few other visual things that were happening that day. That it was cold. It was below freezing, and I don't think the people that were wearing these Silkies knew like where the Silkies were actually going, because they couldn't feel anything. And so I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was nighttime. There's clearly a full moon out today, but me and Andrea, and I'm going to say me, I was struggling a little bit more than I wanted to that day. And we're like, hey, we can bow out of this thing and no one's going to know a difference, even though you do this pledge at the beginning. And it's a heartfelt pledge. It's, you know what, we do this because it's going to hurt a little bit. We do this because it's in memory of those that we've lost. And me and Andrea started walking off the course. And next thing we know, there was one of the amputee ruck marchers who had blistered up on his leg and now had went and got back and got his wheelchair. And as he's trucking out there to continue his 10-mile ruck march, I'm like, oh yeah, we're not going to be the ones that bow out after this one yet. So back on the track we went. And if our brother who's lost life, well, not life, but limb, can get out there and do it, then we definitely can still do it. So that was just an awesome experience. We actually became good friends with this veteran, and he's in our network as we speak. So that's the 23rd veteran that runs the Nearly Naked Ruck March, and Mike Waldron does an amazing job. Check him out.
All right.
Mr. Hensley, tell us about your service. Tell us about who you are, and you're on a mission now too, brother.
Yeah, man. I did one enlistment in the Army Reserves. This is right here in my hometown, Noonan, Georgia. And I went overseas 07 to 08. I was in Iraq up at Tikrit. Did that deployment and came back. And then I got a much safer job. I got into local law enforcement and did that here in the metro Atlanta area for the last few years. And that's kind of what I've been doing as far as that goes. A few years back, I decided that, I taught myself, one of the things I did when I was over in Iraq was I learned how to play the guitar. I taught myself how to play, and kind of always knew I could sing a little bit. And so I got out into the community here during COVID because, there was so much to do. And I started playing shows locally here in my town. And, it kind of started to snowball, and it, became a little bit more successful than I ever thought it would. And, during COVID, everybody was just in such a weird headspace. Everybody was isolated. Nobody knew what to do, and you couldn't go see, a concert. There's no way to go do that. All the venues were shut down. And so, even in a small town, you go to a restaurant and you see somebody singing in the corner. It's like, a treat that you don't normally get. And so I made a lot of really cool friends and had a lot of good experiences doing that. And, so recently I recorded some music that I had written and released that stuff on all the streaming platforms. So it's on Spotify or Apple or whatever you guys use. And, my mission now is just to kind of see how far I can take, music and where that's going to lead me. the songs that I released have been, for me, pretty successful. They played 2 out of the 3 of them on one of the biggest radio stations here in Atlanta, which is great. It's the #1 country station here in Georgia. And, it's pretty exciting when you have, you put out something that you put a lot of work and effort into, and, it gets a little bit of feedback from the public. So that's really exciting. So I guess kind of the mission going forward for me is just to try to see if I can figure out a way to make music instead of a part-time job, a full-time job, and kind of support my family doing it, and just kind of ride the wave and see where it takes me. So that's what I'm looking to do.
Well, we got a couple of your songs queued up. Is there one that you want to kind of give us a lead into, and we'll get it rolling?
Sure. Since we got Jonathan, he's from Louisiana. My song Billy Boudreaux is, if you couldn't tell by the name, is kind of that theme. And I always tell the story when I play this song live. Everybody always laughs. I said I got the idea to write this song when I was sitting in church one morning. I was just sitting there in the audience. I said, man, I really got to write a nice murder song, like something that's just really interesting. And everybody always laughs because it's like, oh, you were sitting in church thinking about a murder song. I was like, yeah, that was where the idea struck me. And so I went home that day and I kind of worked on the guitar part, the main guitar part. And then, this song is what came of it. I really wanted to, I've always been a fan of musicians that told good stories. And so I said, I want it to be a murder ballad, and I want it to kind of be set in Louisiana. I want that real swampy feel, and I want to tell a cool story, and involve all that imagery of Louisiana, hurricanes, bayous, alligators. I want to get all that stuff in there. So that's a song I wrote, and I was really proud of how it turned out. It was a good one. That was the first one they played on the radio that I ever recorded.
We just had an event down in Louisiana. Gosh, it's been a month now, but we got the chance to speak at Jonathan's post, and there was a visitor that was in that space that came up to us and said, hey, his name was Bobby Boudreaux, but I was just like, gosh, takes us home, man. Great man, great. Proud to wear his uniform to this day, and I believe he's 81 years old and is just out kicking it right now. So
that's awesome, man.
We've got John Hensley with Billy Boudreaux.
Billy Boudreaux was his name. Spent his younger days as a sheriff just outside of New Orleans. We started drinking and I asked him, Billy ever had one getaway? He said, when they run it don't matter, we all get judged someday. Man murdered his wife. With his money he conjured up a story and bought himself an alibi. It takes a good one to hang a jury, and gave a wink when the verdict was read. I said, Billy, how'd you endure it? And this is what he said. Don't you ever step foot in a hurricanes coming to town. Waters climb, mercury rise, creatures coming out of the ground. just like lightning. When the man woke, he was in the swamp, tied up to a cypress tree. When he felt something move under that water, he knew he would never be free. Don't you ever step foot in a bayou at night when the hurricane's coming to town. Water climb, mercury rise, creatures coming out of the ground. Making live his life and dream his dreams, pretending he will always be free. Between the golden raiders and the hurricane, paid the piper guarantee. Met an old man down in Louisiana, Billy Boudreaux was his name. He tipped his hat and winked at me the night he put me in my grave.
Awesome. That's awesome. I listened to that a couple times since you sent it to us. Very, very southern swampy feeling.
Yeah, I like it.
Love it. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Great,
I
very good.
don't wanna- Very good. And we got 2 more songs to hear yet tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Awesomeness. Awesomeness. I don't want to put Brian on the
Oh.
spot.
Way to set
But
the bar
Brian-
high, John. Good job.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's just how it comes out. I don't, control that.
We'll let that. Brian, I saved a little spot for you at the beginning. If you are you in a spot right now where you'd like to speak? Brian runs a business that helps some funding, and he sponsors us with that business. Not only that, but Brian is also a veteran and a first responder and a peer mentor and all of that good stuff. So fits right into the mix and runs a business that is able to share with the People's Patriot Project.
Yeah, well, thanks, Andrea. I appreciate it. Sorry for my tardiness. Speaking of that first responder spot, we had a call right as the show came up, so I had to run off. My company is Smart Living, and I partnered with the People's Patriot Project last year on Veterans Day, and we promote healthy living, looking forward to health care rather than sick care. And so we promote that with folks. We show them some easy steps how to get that going in their life. And we also, through that, can support the People's Patriot Project because we have a philanthropy side, and they're registered as a nonprofit with our company. So we'll put some information in the comments about it. If you want to check us out, just take a look and get in touch with me. I'd be happy to share it with you. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do, Brian, and we appreciate everything. I mean, it's been an amazing ride, and Brian has been there to help support and also give direction in what we're doing and how the People's Patriot Project can be more effective and moving forward. So we appreciate everything you're doing, Brian.
Thank you.
John, was there any inspiration to that last song? I mean, you said you wanted to do like a murder killer, everyone die song, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I never compare other people's music to, but there were some songs that I heard in that song as well.
I'm interested to hear what you think, because I know I had a couple in mind when I wrote it, and I'd love to know what you heard when you heard it.
Well, I heard Blake Shelton, All Red.
Okay, that's definitely one of them. Good job.
And then Hurricane. We have Jen
Band
Ford.
of Heathens, yeah.
Well, yeah, Jen Ford down in Texas covers it. A lot of people cover it as well, but and so I was just like, I loved your take on it. I loved the message in it. I loved all the drive in it, and it just I love the smoky voice. That's. I'm not crushing, just so you know. We good.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, those are definitely some of my musical influences. I grew up listening to Blake Shelton, and Old Red's a great song, and I also cover Hurricane from the band The Heat. It's a great song. And I tell you what I really wanted to go for, and I've had a couple people that have said they reminded them of this song. Reba McEntire used to have a song called The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have that feel.
Okay.
But a little bit swampier.
Sure. You nailed it then. I see it, I hear it, and 100%. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeremy did not hear It's a Small World in there, which is I thank goodness, but who knows these days down there in Disney what they're doing, right? We won't go there. We just won't go there. Mr. Gatewood, what are you working on these days?
Well, coming up on the 18th of this month, we'll be doing a Veteran Expo down in Columbus, Mississippi. We are partnering with the American Legion Post 69 there. It'll be our second Veteran Expo there. And it's just one of the other type events that speak to what we want to do. This is more so like a rural area. So instead of veterans having to drive 2 hours to one of the largest cities like a Jackson, Mississippi, or go to Birmingham, Alabama, we wanted to bring this expo to this area, and hopefully we can reach more veterans than we did last year. We had a significant amount last year that showed up, but this event is for veterans, family members, and the community.
You know, you bring that subject matter up, and what can we do to activate, to motivate, and to get people out to these events, because they are missing opportunities. What can we do to rile people up, to get them going, to get them out there and be at these events?
What I've been seeing is as far as having food, having a place where your kids can be entertained while you go through and actually get resources. And we also have, it won't truly be a 5K, but we're calling it a hero on ruck. So we're just doing, since we'll be like in the parking lot of the American Legion, but we'll probably get like 2.5 miles in. So trying to get people to come in for that, the physical fitness aspect of it. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we can give out medals, and we might actually move it to a track. But just letting them know that we have the Department of Veteran Affairs, which the GV Sunday Montgomery VA, they will be there. We will have representatives from the Vet Center in Jackson, Mississippi. They'll be there. So really just trying to let them know about resources that they can't just get when they just go to their local county veteran service officer. We are not going to have the ID portion there, but we're hoping to get them next year, because that's a good piece to have, because veterans lose their veterans ID. And then now with service connected veterans being able to go on to military bases to go to the commissary, that's a plus. And we have the Columbus Air Force Base there also, so that's a plus.
That's great resources and great opportunities, and we love all the things you're doing. Please let us know, and we'll continue to have conversation. But whatever we can be doing to help support and or promote your events, we'll get it up on our social media as well. But I think that there is a good food, good music, good people, and amazing things that will always happen. I nailed that one. Mr. Hensley, what are you working on right now?
So I've been working on writing some more songs. That's kind of the next short-term goal, and pretty much the goal for this year is to be able to record some more original music, having them played on the radio and on the air, and the responses I've gotten from what I've already done, it's just been, super encouraging for me in that aspect. I was always kind of self-conscious as a songwriter. I didn't really want to share what I'd written with people. But now that I've kind of gotten out off that ledge and it's, the stuff's out there, people really are enjoying it. And I've had, it's been a great experience. So I've been working on that. And then I recently was asked to, there's an organization here in Georgia called Tamp Southern Ground. And they are a veterans organization, and they do a lot of programs for veterans, one of which I attended last year. and they've asked me to start coming in and helping veterans through songwriting. And so I recently just got to go and spend time with some veterans who are going through one of their programs and talk to them and basically help them write a song about their experiences and get to share that with the rest of the people at that program. And really cool program, really fun, and just super, it's just good for your soul to be with people that are like you and help them and just be able to share your gift. And it's just, music is one of those things. It's a universal language and it connects with everybody. And being able to help those guys kind of work through stuff with music is just, a super gratifying thing for me. It's just a great thing. And I'm so happy that I got asked to do it. So.
A great organization. We haven't had them on our show yet. We've been trying to get them. That is also an organization that is highly supported by the Zach Brown Band and get involved down there. Do you ever get a chance to collaborate with other veteran musicians?
So the program I did last year, I met quite a few veterans who are musicians, and I think that's kind of how I got plugged into this community. Before that, I wasn't, I didn't know a whole lot of veterans that were musicians, but I've since met a tremendous amount, and I'm just amazed by how many incredibly talented songwriters and vocalists and guitar players that are out there that are veterans. It's cool. My eyes were just opened so wide. There's a whole new world of people that you can collaborate with. And I've been kind of in contact with those guys since I left the program that I did last year. And it's just been, you just meet people that are like-minded and you just, you love them instantly. So it's great.
If you haven't had the chance to pull up WeP3 Radio, it's as simple as going to Google and putting WeP3, and it'll be one of the first things that pop up in there. And we're going to get Mr. Hensley up there. We don't have him on there yet, but we always ask permission to make sure that that's something that they want done. But right now, I think our count is 167. And there's probably about 80 that we can't even touch yet. And I mean, we've been trying. You got Scooter Brown, you got the War Hippies, you got James Otto. If you guys remember James from back in the 90s, it was pretty big in the country music industry.
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, just outstanding. I mean, if you want, Willie Nelson's a veteran, folks. Johnny Cash, not Johnny Cash. Elvis Presley was a veteran, folks.
Johnny Cash too.
Yeah, Johnny Cash. It's they went and they served first. And again, I'm not taking away anyone's talent. I'm not, but they went and they did the job first. They made sure we had the freedoms and liberties and get to lay our big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily. And then they come back and then they are trying to get into this. And the conversations that we have, why aren't they played on the radio? Why are they not? Why do we not hear these guys? I'll be honest, and I just had a conversation with one yesterday. It's the resources. It's the resources. We've got some of those that help. We're going to continue to help. We're building it. We're growing it. And just watch what these guys and gals do, not only for their country and their communities, but also as musicians. They're very talented. What song you want to go with next, John?
So I have two choices. I have one. I'll let you guys pick because I don't like to. I like to let everybody have their own choice. I think liberty's the thing we're here for. So the first one is kind of a tongue-in-cheek. It's just a funny country song. If anybody's ever heard the phrase, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. That's a really big Southern colloquialism where I'm from. And I heard it quite a few times growing up. And I always thought, man, you could write a good country song around that if it's funny enough. And so I wrote that song. And so that's our first option. That one's called Better Be Tough. And our other option is called Days Where It Won't Rain. This one's kind of more of a it's about my service and it's about, kind of my story and where I went with all that. It was kind of one of the first songs I ever really wrote to its entirety. And, people always ask me, because I was young when I went to overseas. I was 19 when I went to Iraq, and then I got back and I became a police officer at 21. And so, you know, by the time I was 25, people were like, man, I bet you've seen everything. And I said, I've seen a pretty good bit. And so this song's kind of about that. So I'll let you guys pick which one you want to hear first.
All right, we'll put our auto tabulator on it. Miss Kimmer, A or B?
A.
Days Where It Won't Rain by John Hensley.
Walking around age of 18, thought I had it figured cause I seen some things. Mouth writing checks I had no way to cash. Just a dumb kid living hard and fast. I left school, joined the army, found out quick, didn't know a thing. A trip to the deaths where I learned about loss, how to be a man, and how much it costs. Thought I'd seen it all, but I hadn't. See, living and dying and laughing and crying all happened. But I know it can't always be that way. Good times come, hard times will fall away, and I'll see better days. Days where it won't rain. Came back home, tried the college thing out. Wasn't for me what they were talking about. Mind playing tricks I'd never played before. Didn't realize it'd be another war. Nights on the streets, never thought they'd slow down. Putting more quarters in my merry-go-round. I found a bottle just trying to sleep. Turn my thoughts down, try not to think. I thought I'd seen it all, but I hadn't. See, living and dying and laughing and crying all happened. But I know it can't always be that way. Good times come, hard times will fall away. I'll see better days. Days where it won't rain. Met a good woman and I settled down. 2 little girls running around. Heart so full, a great family. God so good, I can't help but believe. Even on the days I think about the pain, remember the times all I saw was the rain. I know now the Lord was always there, was never alone, not anywhere. I thought I'd seen it all, but I haven't. I see Jesus and angels and loved ones lost, it'll happen. And I'll be singing sunshine every day. Sorrow gone, clouds will drift away. I see better days, days where it can rain.
I really like that one. I can relate to that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
What was the inspiration of that one, brother?
You know, that's just my life, my man. Really is what it is, you know. And it was one of the, you know, I gave my band several options for songs that we were going to record, and that was kind of that song was really an afterthought. I didn't really want to put it out there because it was kind of personal to me. But once they all heard it, they were like, "Nope, we're gonna cut that one." So we did, and I've got a lot of good feedback from it. And I'm hoping that it resonates, especially with the community of veterans. And because I know that my story is a lot of their story, and and I hope they can find something in there that helps them out.
It's a great message, man. It's a great message. Miss Kimmer, you got a treat for us tonight?
Hey, I do. Listen to John's first song. Brought this to my mind that I'd like to share. It's called "Go Ahead, Try to Wipe Me from Your Brow." Hey, drill sergeant, I'm ready. Let's do this already. I'm ready to take back what you took. Into my eyes, take a deep look. Things are changing. I'm now in control, whereas you are just a two-bit asshole. I would fear you if I were me, because to myself I am true. I'm ready to remove your crown. You've been replaced. I'll see you around. Let me warn you, there's a new me, one that you can no longer feed. The power I gave you no longer frightens my soul. I have enlisted again, but I have also enrolled in positive feelings about myself I never knew, in which helps me to bid you my final adieu. Because I will no longer allow you to screw my life, my future, and the things I plan to do. You've kept me running long enough. Go ahead and try. I warn you, but this is not a bluff. This is me taking my life and my power back. I'm no longer running. It's my turn to attack. But before you turn and run away, let me make sure that you hear me say, I won't hurt you as you did me, but you will no longer again be free. When you hear my name blowing in the breeze, know it will be you, not me, that will freeze. So drill sergeant, I got your number now. Go ahead, try to wipe me from your brow.
Oh, Kimmer. Yeah.
Heavy, man.
If you haven't had the chance to hear Kimmer's story, continuing on my Healing Avenue is out there. It is a telephone book of information, of growth, of her life, where she's going. We have been absolutely blessed to have Miss Kimmer join the WeP3 team. We thank Derek Iozio for being the amazing strong leader he is down in Texas, and saw the diamond in the rough. And if you haven't seen the growth that this young lady has endured, has progress, that poem right there is a prime example of where she's been and where she's going and what she's gotten done. And so thank you for the blessing you are to us, Miss Kimmer.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without you.
Well, we don't get to do this without you. So that's and our other great guests as well.
I'd like to say that you don't have to worry about doing it without us ever again.
Truth. And remember in El Paso, absolutely. Because I will mess that up every single time. It is a great place to be. And I hate that it happens, but that the network has grown to a level where I don't remember everyone in it. And I'm sorry. If you're involved, great. Thank you. We're going to continue to do what we're doing. If I forget you, take it with a little bit of grace. It's not that I'm forgetting you. It's that we are in an amazing, great place. And I just don't remember everything. I can't remember all the songs that we have in our catalog right now. It would be impossible to know and remember all those. And when we quiz each other all the time when songs come up on WeP3 Radio. Who is this? Who is this? And I was like, yeah, remember? This is who it is. And we've been absolute. Our socks have been knocked off, and we're getting there. We're getting there, and we're getting there because We have brothers and sisters that reach out to us regularly, asking for the help that they need. And then we have our brothers and sisters that reach out regularly to say, thank you for the mission that you have and that you've changed my life. Some have straight up said, you saved my life. I have a hard time with that. I'm going to be honest. Here's my truth. I have a hard time taking an accolade saying you saved my life, only in the fact I'm just a vehicle, man. Our team, WeP3, is just a vehicle. We're just here. We're doing what we feel that we have committed and have been asked to do. We want to continue the mission, and we don't. It's like asking or saying thank you for your service. For a lot of the men and women who have served aren't actually asking for that. They just, it was mine. I served and I wanted to serve and I got everything I wanted out of serving, had the time of my life. I know that some of our veterans and first responders didn't have the time of their life, and I totally get that. And when you say thank you for your service, I will reach back with grace and say thank you for that. Regardless if it's on Memorial Day, Labor Day, Easter Day, or whatever, because I know a lot of our veterans get up in arms when you give the wrong greeting on the wrong day. And it's, you know what, I receive it with grace. Thank you. And I'm going to continue the mission. And I'd like you to come on board with me. The People's Patriot Project is a mission that gives you the opportunity to continue to serve. It gives you the opportunity to serve if you haven't had or took the chance to serve. And we are serving men and women across the entire country. And we don't get to do it without the amazing guests we have. And we don't get to do it without the amazing people that come on and share their stories and share their pieces with us. And so we thank you. Mr. Gatewood, what's next for you, brother?
Well, at the end of this month or the 1st of June, I'm going to start a campaign called Rucking for a Van. We're trying to raise funds for an outreach van. This outreach van will be used to go out into rural areas or even go to the veterans' homes that are homebound, where we could sit there, have a cup of coffee with them. A lot of times that I've seen with trying to do recons in different areas, we're looking for a coffee shop that allow us to come in. And don't get me wrong, people are welcoming, but if we have this vehicle, we can go to a Walmart parking lot, or we can go downtown, put our awning up, put our signs up, free coffee for vets, and just have them come straight to us without they having to deal with sometimes coffee shops. And I think the component of actually going to the home of veterans, because every veteran can't come out their home or they're not ready to come out. So somebody might call and say, well, I have a husband or a father who just won't come, but he said he'll allow you to come to the home. So a lot of time people think about the coffee. It's not about the coffee. It's about the connection. It's about just two individuals talking. And it might take some time before we even talk about the problem, but you allowing us to come and support you, that's taking the first step.
I love it. I love it. How many people are on your team, brother?
Right now, about 5 on my board, but we do have volunteers. We're trying to continue to grow that population in the states of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. But of course, I do this part-time because my full-time job is with the Department of Veteran Affairs.
What can we do to help support you?
You can go to the GoFundMe that we have out there that's connected to that flyer, and I can also send it to you again. Once we raise the needed funds, we're going to try to look for that van and get what I would love is for veterans just to be able to walk in on that van. We can have a TV mounted, and we can have a bench where they can sit down, and we can have a bar in the back where we have the donuts or whatever we're serving that day. That's what I would love, just to have a functional van that we can do this. But if we don't have the means to actually build it out right then, we'll do what we're doing right now with my SUV. We'll pull the tents out the bag and then put the generator together, and we'll just do it do what we need to do.
Yeah, let's
No
get this
excuses.
done, man. If you've not been on our show before, I see some new faces trickling in into the background. And if you've not been, can you just leave a quick comment here? We'll reach out to you. What the heck's wrong with me? We will reach out to you and say thank you for being here. And again, this is an opportunity that we get to have to grow, build, and make this mission bigger so that we can get the word out for boots on the ground organizations like Mr. Gatewood and Mr. Hensley. I did say it right. I've been panicking. I've been thinking the Eagles all night long, and I'm like, I'm gonna mess this up tonight, and I haven't done it yet. So,
Want to hear a funny story about that? Talk about the Eagles. Don Henley. So my drummer actually used to play drums for Don Henley after he left the Eagles.
That is
kind of a small world.
It is a small world. I love it.
I told him the only thing that Don and I had in common was that our names rhyme. That's about where it ends.
What is next for John?
Hopefully I can just continue to create music and bring people joy, and just keep doing that. I'm really just looking to find the way to make that my primary source of income. I'd love to do that full time and be able to, it's way better than other jobs I've had. I can tell you that. People are usually really happy to see you when you're singing, you're playing music, and so I'd love to be able to do that full time, and or just be a part of the industry in any way. That'd be fun for me. So that's kind of what I got going on, and then just continuing to help out. I think the goal for next year is to do more of that songwriting at Southern Ground. I'd love to keep doing that and see kind of where that leads. So
there is also we have a good friend down in Georgia who runs Feed the Heroes Foundation, and we need to make sure we get you guys connected with them. They've actually been involved with Southern Grounds as well, with Operation Tackle Box and a couple other organizations that we've connected with. So we'll make
those
sure
guys are local here. Jacob Watkins and those guys.
Yep. All right. What last song? You say it's a kind of tongue-in-cheek song.
Yeah, it's just funny, man. Southern wisdom, and it's. I didn't really promote it a lot, but it's gotten the most streams of any of the ones that I did. And, I didn't tell anybody about it, but for whatever reason, they just really related to it because it's funny and it's kind of catchy, and it's got a great guitar solo in there that my buddy Kevin played. So it's just a fun song. I think that's why people dig it.
This is John Hensley, Better Be Tough.
I grew up down in a small town. Folks know everyone for miles around. Was the kind of kid who couldn't back down when that bullet was picking on me. Next thing I know, I was looking up at the sky, watching the clouds roll by with a shiner on my eye. Can't forget what my daddy said when I got home that night. When he sat me on his knees, he said, if you're gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough. Well, your head and your life's gonna get real rough. God was giving out brains, you must not have got too much. You wouldn't be doing such foolish things. Better stop thinking before you act, son. Turn your hot head into a cool one. You're gonna learn your lessons well enough. You're gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough. So I got married and I was 22 to a beautiful lady, and I had no clue. She asked me how she looked, what I was supposed to do. Was coming come up with a little white lie. She came at me with a frying pan, cussing and yelling something I didn't understand. Woke up in a room getting me a CAT scan, with the doctor preached to me, say, if you're gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough. The way you're headed, your life's gonna get real rough. God was giving out brains, you must not have got too much. Wouldn't be doing such foolish things. Better stop thinking before you act, son. Turn that hot head into a cool one. Gonna learn your lessons well enough. Gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough. My way home, I hit my favorite bar. Couple of drinks, I might have gone a little too far. Don't know how I didn't see that police car with those blue lights following me. I learned a lesson on the roadside. Two flat tires on my passenger side. Marty hates it when I drink and drive. He just kept on lecturing me. Say, if you're gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough. Where you're headed, your life's gonna get real rough. God was giving out brains, you must not have got too much. Wouldn't be doing such foolish things. Better stop thinking before you act, son. Turn your hot head into a cool one. Gonna learn your lessons well enough. If you're gonna be dumb, son, you better be tough.
Well, John, sounds like you've written the story of my life too.
Yeah, that one resonates with a lot of folks too, especially in the veteran community, because we tend to be a little more hard-headed than most.
I can see me sending that to a few of my friends. That's
There's a lot more truth in that for me than I'd care to admit to. I understand.
Isn't that interesting when you wake up and realize that it's okay to hear those messages? It's like, oh yeah, it's, I don't know what age that is, because I still think I go through that, but it's like, come on, take a deep breath. You got this. And you just got to realize, A, you don't know everything. And there's always room for growth. We didn't say the let's grow thing yet today. Let's grow. And if you're not smart, you better be tough. Bottom line. This comes to our point now where we're at our spot in our show where we bring it to closure. And we usually let Jonathan start this and go through. And what are some final thoughts that you came up with about today and or your life and your world?
I might have a mouthful tonight, but first of all, I'd just like we sort of passed over the news, so I'm going to do that real quick.
I was going to say, don't throw me under the bus for not bringing the news in.
No, it doesn't. It's at the end. It's fine. We're the 7:10 news now. May is National Military Appreciation Month, and Congress would designate May as the National Military Appreciation Month in 1999 to ensure the nation was given the chance to publicly show appreciation for troops past and present. May was chosen because of the many individual days that are marked to note our military's achievements in the month, including Loyalty Day, Victory in Europe Day, which commemorates the end of World War II in Europe, and Children of the Fallen Patriots Day are a few of those. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a time to raise awareness and reduce the stigma surrounding behavioral health issues, as well as highlighting the ways how mental illness and addiction can affect each of us. The stigma around mental health and treatment has long existed, even though that has started to change of late. People hesitate to seek help or even talk about it with their loved ones for fear of being judged and facing unnecessary backlash. One of the best ways to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month is by talking about it with your peers. The more you talk about it, the more normalized it will become to talk about it. And this is one of the aims that the month is trying to put out there, is that the stigma attached to mental health has led to countless delays in treatment through all organizations, and research on the matter is still out there and ongoing. When we talk about it, actually, I did a walk with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention last year. We helped kind of organize one in the local area. And this is, I just realized it was sitting there, but this is one of the cups that I was given. It says, "Talk away the dark." And talking is a great way to let that out there. But I also like the idea that Mr. Gatewood brought up of actually going out there in the community and reaching people. Instead of waiting for them to come to you. I think there's a part of that, because nobody wants to, there's, as I said earlier, there's still that stigma, right? Where people don't want to come out and say, "Oh, I've got issues." But if they don't have to go anywhere to have that conversation, if it happens over a normal, relaxing cup of coffee or whatever outreach is there, then it seems a little more palatable to most people. So get out there, make it known, be available. Last week, I put out the news, and now I'm going to call myself out. I had it wrong. So National Teacher Appreciation Day, which we have two in-house tonight, and I believe Mr. John Hensley's wife is also a teacher, he was saying. So May 6th is National Teacher Appreciation Day, and it is observed on the first Tuesday of the first full week of May. And we're more than ready to show our appreciation to those who have taught us, even though, I might not have gotten everything they were trying to teach me. This day meant to honor them was actually made by a teacher, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. And the official National Day celebrates teachers by gift giving and showering of accolades from students and parents alike. And I think it's a big deal for a parent to recognize a teacher, because just my opinion, but that person's really taken on the brunt of teaching your kid for 8 hours a day while you're doing whatever, working whatever it is you do. So be sure to show appreciation. And there's a large portion of our children's lives that will come from what they learn in and out of the classroom from their teachers and people at school. So thank you, teachers. Mark, Andrea, Miss Hensley, thank you. That's all for the news, and I'd like to move into what my closing thoughts are. And I actually have a couple of those as well. There's a part in that was the second song, Days Where It Won't Rain, that is talked about. And, there's a service member, a lot of people. I went to basic training with several of them. They join up at 17 years old. And, they've not even really begun to live life yet. And they're subjected to a life that most people can't and won't ever understand. But anyways, they go through so much, and then, maybe they get out and they start a job. And Mr. Johns, I think he said he started as by 21, he was a police officer, I think. But, there's a lot of life that is life lessons crammed into a short amount of time when you're in those situations. And then you don't really know what to do with it all. And it takes a few years after that to put it all together and start making sense of it. But anyways, it was just something I was thinking of And that one line in that song says, realize through it all that the good Lord was there all along. And, you know, whatever it is that you believe in, for me, the good Lord's always been there all along, even when I was going through some pretty terrible times. You don't realize it at the time, but when you make it through the other side, you're like, that almost was perfect. So just know that you're not alone, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. All right, 2 pages tonight. Another thing that I thought of at the end of the show was we tend to take blame for everything when it goes wrong, but when something good happens to us or something good happens in our lives, we want to give everyone else the accolades. And the power of failure, the power of success, the power of growth, it lies in each of us all the time. So sometimes we need a little push, and we can think of it as like a personal trainer for life. So, you know, sometimes you need that push, somebody to put you in the right direction and say, you know, you're doing the right thing, but you're doing a little bit wrong, and kind of tweak your approach to the situation a little bit and get you through. But, you know, a lot of times I find that we tend to give credit to other people for the things that do go right in our lives. And we need to realize that, you know, that the power of success and failure, the power of everything, it really lies in you. And you're the warrior. You're the strong one. Just keep pushing.
Thanks, Jonathan. Mr. Hensley, any closing statements?
I'd just like to thank you guys for having me on the program. I, you know, am blessed to be a part of it, and I appreciate you guys including me, and I really hope that you guys can continue what you're doing. I think, you know, organizations like the People's Patriot Project are just so important in this day and age, you know, with so many veterans out there that are coming back from overseas with just a variety of issues, and, you know, having a place where they can sit and be with like-minded people and you know, talk about what's going on with them is just it's hugely important, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So I wish you guys all the success going forward with it, and I really appreciate you guys having me on, giving me a platform to share my art with everybody. So thank you.
Thank you, brother. Miss Eichmann.
Well, I want to just thank everyone for being on the show tonight. I think it flew by. It's 7:20 already, and here we are at the closeout. But I want to thank everyone for being on, and for our sponsors. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm just watching our numbers tick, and I'm checking our analytics and all that good stuff. And I don't know what about tonight. A lot of people are in and out watching and tagging others, and it's been very cool tonight. I booked 2 people as we were listening to music. And so your words are strong, you guys, and we will get them out however we can, and we will share everything as much as we can. We hope you do that as well, but I'm watching it. It's happening right now. People are looking for connections, and anything that we can do to help those connections happen. We want to be the vehicle to make that happen. So thank you very much for coming on and for sharing your music, your words, Melvin, everything that you are doing. Thank you so very much. It's fun to watch how you kind of climbed through all the pieces. I mean, I always appreciate, I just know that at most of my jobs, but at one in particular became a legal job, and I started in the copy room. And when you know everything from the top to the bottom, like you do, and you know the outsides and the insides as well, I just feel like that can make a passing difference. And you know what? We have next week our anniversary for our 200th anniversary episode. Will be, we don't have any guests next Sunday, so I think we're going to play it up and play it hard to share some of our, I don't know, because we can never pick a favorites at all. So we're just going to say some clips, whatever we've got time for, and then we'll probably just do a shoot the poo and ask people to pop in, play music, share thoughts, ideas, experiences, and we'll go from there. That's nothing in stone yet, but that's just some ideas we've talked about. Newsletter will be coming out, and then I would just like to share this really quick from our sponsor. Oh gosh, Healthy Living. I'm going to put a link down here. And Brian was going to play it, but I couldn't get it into our thing. So I will play it next week again. Anyway, check it out. If you're interested in Healthy Living, get a hold of Brian or I. It's changing your store, changing your life. But thank you. Thank you, and have a great week.
Mr. Gatewood, any final thoughts?
Just thank you all for this platform. A lot of times when you come on podcasts, you're not really knowing what it can be, but this has been a pleasant experience with you all. And you got a new fan of the show, and I most definitely will be following you all.
Well, you both are welcome here at any time. If you've got stuff you want to share, put out, get out, anything at any given time, reach out to us anytime. You're welcome here anytime. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your continued service. And thank you for continuing the mission. Mr. Kinzer.
Yes. Yeah, I have to echo what Melvin said. This show is just, it's just unique, and I've come to, over the past months, come to look forward to Sunday night just because I enjoy being here. May is a special month for me. The 2 days of the year that I really look forward to as well is Memorial Day and Veterans Day, because I'm a big advocate for veterans, both that have come back and that need assistance, and also obviously the ones that didn't come back. And here in Wisconsin, we tend to attract attention to things by getting a bunch of people on Harleys and doing a ride, and it draws media attention. And so we've got a big program going down at the Veterans War Memorial here in Milwaukee, and a big ride Memorial Day to show it off. So I'll try and do some video and share it with you all on this platform. So
thanks
for having me.
Miss Kimmer.
Oh, it was good seeing everybody again tonight. John, I love the music. Thank you for sharing. Melvin, the mission, you were trying to tackle rocks. I hope you go far with it. I really do. I would like to close up tonight with something that I wrote called Wear Your Green. Get out and make yourself seen, making sure to wear your green. And when one gives you a nod, know that it's you they applaud. Mental health awareness rocks. Let go of the stigma, rearrange those blocks. Make it a priority. To yourself be true. I know it's not that easy, but this you can do. I've worked hard with mine for years, I've worked hard on mine for years, through fake laughs and through hurtful tears. I've struggled, but I've climbed. Every chance now I chime. I feel good about myself and for you too. Just think about how much we grew. No, I'm nowhere close to being done, but at least now I'm learning to have fun. And strides forward is where I'm going. To myself and others, I am showing that it is okay to wear green with pride. And I am most definitely in it for the long ride. I'm cruising on my healing avenue. It's a wonderful breakthrough. It takes courage and strength and a positive wavelength. But when I park my mind at the end of my day, it's to myself I can say, thank you for not giving up. And don't forget, with my support team, I'll follow up. I want them to be happy for me as well. I look forward to sharing them and to tell about a wonderful life that I live today, of how I kept my demons at bay.
Thank you, Miss Kimmer. It's always a blessing. I don't like following you, just for the record. What a blessing it is yet again that we have so many people that are here listening and being part of it. Again, we don't get to do what we do without you guys, and we openly say that. We acknowledge that, and we know that without our guests, without the people that follow, without those that recognize that we are boots on the ground making a difference, we don't have a mission. It is important to get our information, our stuff out there. We are asking, or we are taking asks all the time, and some of the asks we get to finish in the daily matter. Some of the asks we got to reach into the network and say, you know what, can we get this done? We've yet to fill an ask yet, and I'll knock on wood when I say that, because I don't want to be the one that let someone else down, and we don't got that capability, to be honest with you. The other piece is we've not lost one in our network since we've started the People's Patriot Project since 2018, and that's because we reach out. That's because we have committed to be part of it, and that is because that we are accessible. One of the biggest. Did someone have something? One of the things that we've been complimented on time and time again is that we answer the call, and we were going to do that as much. Now, the bandwidth is getting a little bit stretchy right now, but that's okay too. We just need more people, time, talent, and treasure to step in and be part of the mission as well. There is a place for you. If you are listening to this and have spare time in your day, spare time in your week, at any given moment, we have a place for you. If you want to continue the mission, we have a spot. So come check us out when you need to, how you want to. The truth of the matter is, every time we do a show, be an event, build a new relationship, the truth always comes clear that it happens when it needs to happen. And we take a ton of pride in the mission that we have. We have a couple calls to action. Our first call to action is, what are you doing? And that last statement was pretty much the same statement, but put it on an index card in your house someplace. On a mirror is a good spot. What are you doing? When you are putting yourself in check, it kind of reminds me, if you're going to be dumb, you better be strong. Bottom line, what are you doing? Are you being above reproach? Are you being approachable? What are you doing? If you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. There are people across the country that could use your help. And it might just be a listening ear. It might just be, maybe it is required to go load them up in your vehicle and take them down to get groceries at some point. Maybe they need some groceries in that in the refrigerator or in the cupboard. All those pieces. We're not asking for you to carry the load. We know who is carrying the load, and the People's Patriot Project is carrying that load. So reach out to us. If you know someone needs help and you do nothing, you're part of the problem. If you're the one that needs help and you do nothing, you're part of the problem. All of us have a device in your reachabouts. All of us do. If you wouldn't be listening to us if you didn't have a device, whether it's a computer, whether it's a phone, whether I'm going to ask you to tape and type in a message line. I was just thinking about you, brother/sister, and cut and paste that 6 times and send that to 6 people in your contact list. Don't care who they are. Yes, we are veteran and first responder first, but in your world, you do you. Reach out to 6 people today and say, I was just thinking about you. I promise that act will make someone's day. And it might reach the right person at the right time. We appreciate everyone that's been here. Thank you, Melvin Gatewood, for being here and your amazing mission. Thank you for being available to us and sharing your story and that mission, Operation Continue Service. Thank you, John Hensley, for being here and your amazing smoky voiced sound. We'll get that up on WeP3 Radio immediately. People, if you want to be part of something that helps and creates, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Send out a social media thing today. I love hearing the stories Andrea has in regards to people who are being active, getting active, and being part of the mission. We appreciate you, and we will see you. Come check us out tomorrow at 4:30, where you'll hear only about the People's Patriot Project. That's not true, because we'll talk about Mr. Gatewood, and we'll also talk about Mr. Hensley tomorrow as well, and all the other things that we've got in the mix, including Reads Across America, several events Jonathan is involved in the next 3 weeks. It's just constant go, and we love it. Thank you for all being here. We appreciate you. Patriot Pride.